Welcome back everyone. My name is Eltimar and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Sunless Skies. Where we left off last time, we were in London. We have several things to do here. London's chief station, draped in Union Jacks and studded with bronze busts of her enduring majesty. The platform's crowded with people. The throne of ours is London's heart. This is its carotid artery. Our aunt is here, dear God. Somehow, she has found her way into the higher wilderness. She is trying to get your attention with the frantic waving of her horrible hat. I know you've seen me. Listen, I've quite exhausted my possibilities here. I'm a serviceable quartermaster. I have friends everywhere, and my scones are to die for. How's that for a curriculum vitae? Now let me aboard. Is she even your real aunt? Either way, you have to deal with her. Why can't I take her? Oh, I need a savage secret first. Let's, dodge out of that conversation. Let's go to the house without windows. To find the address given in Captain Whitlock's will, you make your way through the little-used streets in one of London's lower smog-year levels. On a secluded courtyard, flanked by the backs of warehouses and factories, stands a tall grey house with one door and no windows. When you knock, a blind butler answers, "Yes. We'll deliver the black box and fulfill the last request." We also got a savage secret for that so we can recruit our aunt. The butler is pleased. Ah, our resident has arrived. Please bring him in. Everything has been prepared according to Captain Whitlock's instructions. As you maneuver the black box inside, you ask what those instructions were. She has arranged for Master Jacob's convalescence with us. I understand the young gentleman has suffered from a prolonged illness which has left him unable to speak and afflicted him with a delicate disposition. The affairs of the house have been organized in such a way as to never inconvenience him. He will require no visitors. An extensive library has been provided for his edification. Privacy is paramount. With the box in place, the butler produces a key from his pocket, but waits for you to leave before using it. Thank you for your assistance, Captain. If Amelia were still with us, she would thank you. Good day. You leave the house without windows behind. The matter of Captain Whitlock's legacy finally discharged. Alright, well, now we've done that. We can get our aunt now. We will employ her as a quartermaster. 6 irons and 2 mirrors. She smiles with sincere delight. Here, take my bag. Her bag is very heavy. And my hat. Her hat is also very heavy. Your crew are alarmed when she boards your engine. Their alarm only increases when she begins to pass comment. After a thorough survey of your locomotive, she graces you with a smile. There is work to be done. She has extracted gossip from you before she has even boarded. This woman is skilled. We now have the inconvenient aunt. Okay, we have a couple places we can go. We can go to the Office of Works, we can go to the Silken Salon, we can go to this team in Sapphire Yards, and the Ministry of Public Decency. Let's start with exploring London. Let's wander the streets, liberated from her prison below the earth and elevated to the heavens, sprinkled with chimneys, mantled in city smog. Here are old, proud buildings transported block by pale block to the sky. Here are new edifices of soaring steel and stone and gleaming glass. The ultimate achievement of Victorian ambition, unhampered by the terrestrial concerns. London is a feverish brew of aspiration, empire, and appetite. Let's go wander around. There's a palpable tension in the air today. Ministry officials walk the streets, their expressions stormy. A newspaper at the station proclaims the date, the anniversary of the blockade of New Winchester. Alright, well, we have explored London. The Silken Salon. The generous princess manages many affairs of court. She cultivates alliances, forms opinions, sets trends, makes introductions, suggests promotions, and dismantles reputations. She attracts rumor like a lantern attracts moths. It is said she fears the light of the suns, and that her gifts inevitably destroy the recipients. She can sometimes be found in her salon, where she welcomes visiting captains. We can drop off 3 Salon Street gossips for 50 sovereigns and 30 experience, or we can share 5 for 85 and 50. We could also give a cryptic benefactor and get 300 sovereigns and 250 experience, which I may do. Let's connect the generous princess with your cryptic benefactor. Her ladyship is ever in need of new friends. She examines your benefactor's credentials with her magnifying glass, then she asks you to wait in her parlor while she conducts discreet inquiries. Wine, red as an empire's heart, and cheese, soft as her highness's voice, is brought to you. When she returns, she's smiling brightly. I think we should be very great friends. We're not quite up a level. We have a little over 4,000 sovereigns. We could get rid of some of our gossip, but I don't think we're going to. We only have 8 currently. So, what's next on our list of things? Actually, was there anything else to do there other than sharing gossip? No. If we find a royal dispensation, we can get 650 sovereigns and 500 experience, but we don't have that. Anything else on the docks? Yes. The Office of Works. The Office of Works is a bustling bureaucratic enigma. Behind its red bricked flanks labor numerous clerks and surveyors. What mysteries lurk within its memoranda? Its chits and receipts. What exactly are its eponymous works? No one is sure, but in a drafty loading bay, an unflappable foreman purchases supplies to complete outstanding work orders. And I have a hiccup. I'm going to offer my services. He sniffs and leafs through a dog-eared ledger. The Office of Works, God bless her, has very particular requirements. Very particular. Let's have a look. Apparently we have to provide 2 rolls of thirsty bombazine and 2 uncanny specimens. So we need 2 carefully packed crates of munitions, and that's it. I think. I guess so. We'll take our... Oh yes, okay, we need... No, it is really rolls of thirsty bombazine. Wonder if we can buy that. Let's check the market. It's not looking good for that. I don't know where to find bombazine or even remotely what it is. So maybe we won't go... Well, we'll figure it out, because we do have lots of uncanny specimens. So we'll do that mission. We've already repaired our locomotive. We're fine on that. There's a tobacco shop. The sign over the door once read MacQuarry and Son Fine Tobacco, but since then someone has crossed out the word fine in a fit of honesty. The building... Right, then on a separate, more ominous occasion, they have crossed out and Son. Oh, so it's just MacQuarry Tobacco now. Let's inspect the wares. He watches us suspiciously as we examine the shelves. The selection is unimpressive, as is the quality. Neither Albion or the Reach has found a genuinely good replacement for tobacco, though the increasingly frantic smokers have tried letting up virtually every example of sky flora that has been discovered. A few skyfarers mill about, examining the lower grade flowers and speculating on exactly what MacQuarry is cutting them with today. The more expensive brands are untouched in their glass cases. You wonder how this place manages to stay open if it weren't for the fact that it's so obviously on the brink of closure, and probably collapse. Let's leave then. We don't need anything there at the moment. Let's investigate the rumors of an underground railway. We can't. We don't have a Savage Secret or villainy affiliation, so we're not doing that, I guess. The Ministry of Public Decency it is. A whitewashed building near the Throne of Hours, crammed with a top-hatted horde of auditors, inspectors, and correctors. The Ministry curates the notion of Britishness with all the care of a lepidopterist pinning a butterfly to a board. A huge horseshoe-shaped building of white stone, white columns, clocks, and iron gates. We can request an appointment, or we can do nothing else. So, a huge... Oh, we already did this. Crimson carpets worn by frequent passage flood the floors. Within its cubbyhole offices, auditors toil to protect the sensibilities of Londoners here in the heathen sky. Can I be of some help? You cross the foyer and approach the secretary ensconced at a tea desk. She listens to your request with a thoughtful frown. I'd love to arrange an appointment for you with one of our auditors, obviously, but my hands are tied. Bureaucracy, you understand? She rolls her eyes, looks around conspiratorially, then lowers her voice. Best thing for someone like yourself to do is gather reports on nearby ports. I'm sure the information office would love to hear them. Then I could pop your name in this little book and up you go. So this is where we bring our port reports from Albion. Got it. Alright, next one. The Royal Horological Office. Tick, tick, tick. Albion's heartbeat. Clocks of diverse size and shape line the walls of this small grey office. Each is meticulously tuned by the Royal Horologists and inspectors as practice for the thankless complex task of ensuring the consistency of time across her renewed majesty's territories. Let's inquire about employment. Not just anyone can become a royal horologist. Oh, the chief horologist looks surprised at your inquiry. Horologists tend to be cut from a specific cloth rather than a rather grayer fabric than worn by a skyfarer. However, you have the right to take examination if you wish. He blows the dust off a textbook and bids you sit down. No calculation devices or writing implements are permitted. The chief horologist peers over the book. If the current time in Perdurance is exactly 17:15 of the clock, and the time in Albion is 18:34, what, pray tell, is the current time in Lustrum? Hurry up. 1915? Your answer is written down. That's your answer? Very well, we shall continue. Now, a tricky one perhaps. The chief horologist coughs. The train from Brabazon World arrives at 11:30 in London. The current time shown on the master Brabazon clock is, he wins, 14:30. If the train took exactly 1 hour to make the journey, it does not, of course. I merely offer this as a hypothetical for the sake of testing. What was the accurate time of its original departure from the work world? I should have read the clocks before this. If it arrives in London at 11:30, it had to have left before then. That took an hour, right? 10:30. Interesting, very interesting. He pauses for a moment before writing your answer down. You wait patiently for several minutes, but the third question doesn't seem to be coming. The chief horologist's eyes have drifted closed, a thin string of drool dribbles from his otherwise dry lips as he snores. Let's nudge him. This fellow must be pushing 100. Oh yes, excuse me. He glances at your answers. Oh dear, well, I see little point in continuing with the other 248 questions. I'm afraid you simply don't have what it takes. Do not be chastened. A pause. Perhaps a little chastened. There's only one clock of Albion. All else is inaccuracy. Okay. Well, let's go. I guess we're gonna... Well, hang on. What's the nature of hours? Let's ask about the nature of hours. The chief horologist doesn't bother to hide the weariness in his voice. No, despite the imaginative claims of certain penny dreadfuls, hours can't take you back to yesterday, nor leapfrog tomorrow. But with the use of hour looms, a week's journey can be made to take a day, or a prisoner can endure 10 years of his sentence while only 1 year passes outside of the cell. A work world can perform a month's labor in a week. A lifespan can be stretched. The Empire captain runs on hours. Okay, well that's good to know. I can't inquire about employment again for a while, and I guess that's pretty much all we have to do here at the moment. There are, of course, ships and stuff we can buy here, but I've been looking online, and in all fairness, the ships here are not the best. Basically, the best ship that we can hope for is the Moloch class cruiser in the other dock, or there's one in a different territory that we can get to that is also pretty cool. Let's make our way through the skies. Let's go take a look around. We're gonna go find some docks, find some places to go. I actually don't know if we can get back at this point through the gateway. So that's pretty much why we're gonna go start exploring this area. This is interesting. Boxy shapes tumble in the sky. Paupers' coffins. We can break open a coffin. Quietly, mind. Some of your crew have superstitions about the dead. We got 1 ministry-approved literature. Her Majesty's Man in Death. You take your least scrupulous signaler out on the footplate. You bring no lanterns, relying on your sight and distant sunlight that scintillates off a few broken fragments of glass nearby. Soon enough, a promising coffin of pleasing bulk passes by, close enough to touch. Deft work with the coal shovel brings it aboard. You break it open in your cabin. Inside, the waxen face of a newly dead auditor. Who bothers to bury an auditor in state? Within his stiffening fingers, the favored poetry of the Empress. We also got 15... Oh, damn it, there's another one of these things. Scribe spinners. I missed. I got hit by one thing. Oh, I missed too. How did that miss? Turn fire. That does very little damage, but still does some. Oh, that's gonna hurt. How is this thing not dead, honestly? I've hit it with like 4 shotgun blasts in the side. There we go, finally. Let's take its wood. At least pay for the repairs. 1 bronze wood. Alright, let's send out our little bat, see what it can find. It's found absolutely nothing. I'm gonna go north just to see what there is around here. I must admit, the London area looks a lot emptier than the other ones so far. Although maybe that's just the way it's designed. Sending out my bat again. We're a little bit further out this time. There's so many graves here. And apparently nothing to be found again. We need to find places to get port reports. There was something back there that we didn't get before, apparently. That's a dreadnought. The HML Puffin. Not too concerned about that. Let's send out our bat again. There's a dead ship or something over here. Our bat is kind of useless. He hasn't found anything worthwhile recently. We should probably replace him at some point. What is this? We've considered it. We got 1 Tale of Terror. Interesting. You'd think a place as well traveled as London would have maps for sale of where all the ports are. It does not. This is a very normal looking mausoleum type area. I'm not entirely sure where we're going, or what's even up here. I'll send out my bat one more time in hopes of finding a port, but eventually we're gonna have to turn around if we don't find anything. There's something up ahead. I think we should probably find the menagerie and buy a better bat. Ours sucks. We're approaching whatever this is. Mists begin to gather like fairy floss. A distant sprinkle of gas lamps glows through them. I'm almost on top of whatever this is. Oh, it's a eel thing. We don't have any butchery stuff though. We really should buy a butchery scoop at some point. This is a very misty area. It's almost a little bit worrying. Another thing. Something stirs below. What is that? Star Madden Explorer. Oops. Shoot, I didn't mean to send out my bat. I just wanted to loot the thing. Let's examine the captain's logs. We got a sky story and 50 sovereigns. There's not been a single port up this way so far. And this place is eerie, and I love the music here. It's actually really good. Turn back soon. We don't have the supplies to keep going this way. It's another eel thing. We can get tons of eel up here, apparently. But we don't have the capability of getting them yet. Alright, we're gonna head back down towards London. I'm still gonna send out my bat a couple more times on the way, just to see what we can find. Putting cruise control on. Apparently this land is very empty though. Not a single port or anything. Go, Bat, go. Find me something. Anything, literally. A dock. Right ahead somewhere. Now, what is this? He wondered. A large building. Dock is on the other side of it. Where are we? There's a world below us, it looks like. Is that a, oh, it's a glorious dreadnought. It's a mausoleum. Kensington Station. The most serene mausoleum. Does it have... Oh good, it has fuel and supply. We can get a paint stained glass here and then we can head back home. We're gonna go do that. I want to go back to the Reach briefly because I want to turn in that quest and get a huge amount of money. But first of all, let's take a look at what's going on here in the Nave. The soaring, sepulchral heart of the most serene mausoleum, constructed over the cooling embers of Albion's murdered son. The mausoleum was built to house London's most glorious dead. Kensington Station is tucked into a side chapel. An elderly footman is lighting candles while waiting to guide visitors into the mausoleum proper. Let's be escorted inside. The footman watches you alight from your engine. He coughs meaningfully. Lighting a fresh taper, which he carries in a silver holder, the footman leads you through a narrow arch and down a winding spiral stair. You can hear weeping close by, but the echoes make it hard to discern the source. Soon after, you hear a sharp burst of laughter and music. Occasionally, you can make out the rumble of what the footman confirms to be the London Necropolis Railroad, far below. At the bottom is an oak-paneled door. The footman unlocks the door, bows, and departs. The footman disappears into the gloom, leaving you alone facing a desk shaped like a baptismal fount. A cheery registrar sits in the middle, waiting to greet you. I will introduce myself. She has you fill out a form indicating your profession, age, usage of hours, and to confirm your legal status as alive. The Prince's Consort tomb is exceedingly popular. To prevent congestion, all donations are requested. The greater the donation, the longer you'll be allowed to gaze upon the sepulchre. If one is fortunate enough to garner the attention of one of the Deathless, one must be respectful and only speak when spoken to. It is not due for the living to linger long among the dead. She files away for your form in an excessively large black cabinet. Let's write a report. The most serene mausoleum is, if not the heart of Her Renewed Majesty's domain, then at least its pulmonary valve. Okay, oh, I should read that thing. The most serene mausoleum endures. The catacombs grow as the necropolis line brings more bodies for burial. Traders bring fresh hours into the mausoleum, endowments from the Empress for the Deathless interred within their vaults. Plans are in motion to add a new chapel to the Nave, while the Deathless petition for a new separate station for the exclusive use of their servants. Death has never been so much in motion. We can inter a member of our crew. It's expensive though. We can contemplate the dead sun. I want to try that. Oh, we failed. We gained terror. The burnished light of the clockwork sun gleams on the window. You raise your hand to your brow and squint. Through the gold-flecked glass, you can make out the shattered bulk of Albion's former sun far below. When Her Majesty's armies entered Albion, they conquered the territory by slaying its sun. A weapon of appalling power was built for the task. The proof of which is the smoking ash clog remains below. The sun is quenched in its absence, and in its absence, London has built its own. Grim. We'll have to try that again later, I guess. We could visit the memorial to the Prince Consort, why not? Actually, no, I don't really need... Well, we do need to lower our terror, will join the reverent crowds at the Prince Consort's tomb. And we reduced our stuff by paying 3 sovereigns. The cheery register marks your name in an account book before summoning a footman to guide you to the tomb. The tomb is sunk into a round chapel behind the choir. An effigy of the Prince Consort rests on top. His long hands are folded in prayer. 4 sculpted seraphim support him, as though about to lift him up in flight. Crowds of visitors, in mourning, jostle for a better position. A lady in an inconceivable hat shoves her way to the front. You are afforded a brief glimpse of the prince's haunted marble face before you're ushered away. Alright, that's good enough, I guess. Let's go take... Oh, we can't leave yet. We've lingered long enough, and we will... How do we get out of here? Well, we can approach the Deathless, why not? Her renewed majesty's most favorable, highly favored courtiers prefer the upward climbs of the Nave, I can't read today, away from the excitable members of the public. The most serene mausoleum houses more than just the Prince Consort. Under its soaring spires, the Empress keeps her most favored courtiers. Those lucky few are provided with every luxury they might wish, and a generous stipend of hours. The only condition of this bounty is that they are dead, legally only. They cannot possess property nor hold political office as a result. They are deathless. Occasionally they deign to appear to visitors. We can speak with the macabre counselor. It requires nothing really. We only have a 53% chance though. We'll try it. Yay, it worked. The counselor advances through the nave like an old spider trespassing on her rival's web. Her dark eyes dart and her fingers curl and twitch. She notices your gaze and approaches lazily. A footman moves to intercept, but she holds up a hand. He pales and retreats. She begins by quoting Keats at you, Ode to a Nightingale. She surmises you've encountered death in the skies, known its easeful touch on your cheek, and proceeds thusly for some minutes, lingering on each crewman fallen, each cold burial in the dark, and then she smiles suddenly and bids you a pleasant day. We gained terror, we gained one of the Empress's Deathless's courtiers' favor, and that's it. Let's entertain a request from the macabre counselor, why not? The cheery register gives you a note and a worried smile. The macabre counselor has requested your attendance, an honor rarely granted the legally living. But we're actually going to end the video here. We'll continue with this in the next video. Like always, if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you all next time. Take care.